Okay, so we are here with, introduce yourself.
Okay. Geoff Thorpe here from Vicious Rumors.
Okay, and Geoff, how did you even become a musician? What was the spark that made it all happen?
Girls.
Girls.
I had two older sisters, man, and I used to see how they reacted coming home and listening to rock music, and when I was very young, I just watched what was happening to them, and I didn't know what it was. I just knew I wanted to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But and I just love music. I always have from the beginning. What's better than being in a band with a bunch of your friends, having a great time playing music? So I just wanted to do it full time.
Now, initially, I heard that you are originally from Hawaii. Am I right?
Yeah.
So how does a kid from Hawaii make it happen in the mainland?
Yeah, well, you move. You move. I started when I was 15. A little bit of a late start. By the time I was 17, it's fully developed, full commitment to it. So I moved to California, and right at the perfect time, man, because I didn't know, but it was like the birth of thrash and power metal in the San Francisco Bay Area, with bands like Vicious Rumors, Exodus, Testament, Death Angel, Metallica, Megadeth, bands that are, of course, working still today. And we were part of a very special scene, so it was a little bit of luck, it was a little bit of good timing, and it was a lot of passion for heavy metal.
So how long after you moved to find the right people and get the band going?
Man, when I first moved to California, I just had a dream and an idea. I came up with the name Vicious Rumors, and I made 1,000 business cards, and I just started going to clubs and passing out cards, and I didn't even have a band together. And after about 2-3 months, man, people were like, "Oh, there's that guy from Vicious Rumors," So it's like I just put out the idea and got the name out, and then as people started hearing about it, I formed a band, and we started playing at like the high schools and the junior colleges at lunchtime, right before summer broke out, and then we just started playing clubs, and from there, we just never looked back, man. I was signed to Shrapnel Records. From there to Atlantic Records, and from there to SPV, Steamhammer, where we are now, and a few labels that come and go in between, and here we are 40 years later celebrating heavy metal.
Yeah, that's right. Next year there will be a 40th anniversary of formation of the band. Do you plan on doing something special for that?
We do. We have a new DVD that we actually have here tonight in Chicago. We released it early so we'd have it for this tour. It's really a badass concert performance at the Bang Your Head Festival last summer. So that's our 40th anniversary live in Germany DVD. It's already available. You can order that through viciousrumors.com, Vicious Rumors Facebook.
So let's back to Shrapnel, the first album. You want to show it and introduce it?
Sure, Soldiers of the Night.
Yes.
The first Vicious Rumors album. It takes 20 years to make your first album, and you got to make your second one next year.
True.
So, excuse me, man. This is where it all began. Larry and I started the band. We had Vinnie Moore on guitar, and who's now probably the longest-running UFO guitarist in their history. It was a great time. But we didn't really, it was kind of something that was more thrown together. We didn't have the band complete. Vinny came in, he was just kind of a session guy for the album. Then what happened was the second album, Digital Dictator.
Which is celebrating its 30th anniversary.
This is the 30th anniversary, and this is the tour we're on right now. If you would have told me 30 years ago that we were going to tour the world, doing 100 shows all over the world on behalf of this album in 30 years, I would have just laughed and ordered another beer. But,
which you can still do.
But I am going to laugh and have several beers as soon as we're done. But absolutely, man, it's been fantastic. This is where the band really came together with Mark McGee on guitar and Carl Albert on vocals. This is when we really started establishing a sound, and I'm just thankful that this album is considered to be such a classic and in such high regard. Now then, after the Shrapnel, 2 albums on Shrapnel, we went on to get signed to Atlantic Records in 1990. And this is our debut on Atlantic. We felt it was like a new beginning for us, so we just decided to self-title the album Vicious Rumors.
And I was actually going to ask you that because that kind of maybe caused some confusion among the older fans, but then you cleared that out.
Yes, so it's kind of like a new beginning, major label with Atlantic Records. It was like a dream come true. We were very excited, thinking about Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, chance to be on Atlantic. So it was a great time. This is when we started doing major touring around the world. MTV playing Don't Wait For Me, and the single women used to come to the clubs in packs. They were worse than we were, but God love them. And so that was that. That was the third album. Then we went on to our second Atlantic album, Welcome to the Ball. All 4 of these first albums were very highly critically acclaimed and really cemented, this album like really cemented the band now. 4 super strong albums in a row.
I remember Surrender being a really big track at the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And people seem to really respond to our sound. The touring was non-stop. It got even more on this album. It just paved the way for us to do anything. It paved the way for us to do anything without limitations, without, we had enough of a fan base so we could continue on without Atlantic Records. Great times. We toured Europe, we went to Japan, it was amazing.
And then you have a live album from Japan.
Then we made the live album on that tour, Plug In and Hang On, live in Tokyo. Incredible experience to be, incredible experience to be in Japan. Thank you. It was fantastic, and we really had a great time making this record. We stayed up all night, and we went to a recording studio after it was done, and Mark and I mixed the album all night, and then went on the bullet train to Osaka and did the second show with no sleep. It was an incredible experience and a kick-ass album. Carl Albert, to this day, one of the greatest heavy metal singers of all time. I'm not just saying that. That's what people in the industry say. That's what the fans say. I definitely reiterate it and believe and agree with it, but I'm just saying it's not just coming from me. Carl Albert was one badass motherfucker.
He was.
And then this was unfortunately Carl's last studio album, Word of Mouth. This is probably our most diverse album. We did we did everything from speed metal to anthems. There's a ballad, an atmospheric track. We always wanted to be a band like Led Zeppelin that could do many different styles and do them well. And so those were kind of our aspirations. Word of Mouth was sadly Carl's last album, but lives on in history.
Okay, and a little bit more about Carl, a tribute to him.
Of course, after we were in a band with Carl for so long, we did this tribute to Carl Albert. This was the live recordings from the Word of Mouth tour, and we wanted to do something special. We tried out singers, and it never felt right. The first year, we just couldn't. I don't know, man. Like Carl was more than our singer. He was our brother, and we couldn't really get over his loss, man. We tried out some great singers, but it just. Man, we could have had Ronnie James Dio walk in. We probably would have been like, Ronnie, thanks for coming in. You're just not quite good enough. Thank you very much. Fuck, man. Rob Halford, whatever, man. We had Carl Albert. Where do you go from there? So that's what happened there. And this is also a very collector's item type of thing.
What are some of your fond memories of Carl? You spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, he was just a very funny person, very kind, the totally opposite of your egotistical lead singer type. He was just a very funny, caring, clever guy with an incredible sense of humor.
Now, you mentioned that he was very difficult to replace. In all honesty, could you say that you fully replaced him?
Well, no, you never replace someone like that. No. You just keep going. And which brings us to the next album, Something Burning.
Yes.
We tried so many singers, and it just never felt right. Larry and I said, you know what? Let's do an album 4-piece. Let's do the one and only 4-piece Vicious Rumors album. And so Larry and I did the vocals on this one. It's a little bit more streamlined. It has a lot of anger and frustration that we felt at the time. And it's kind of a special record, a very different Vicious Rumors album. But it was something that we sort of needed to do for ourselves just to be able to move forward. And it kicks ass, there's no doubt about it. So, and that now, after we got that out of our system, and we felt like we were ready to work with singers again. Mm-hmm. And so we brought back one of the guys we auditioned, and we put out this album, Cyber Christ. This was kind of like a modern sequel to like the Digital Dictator. We've always kind of looked ahead and try to like imagine what the future might be, and that's where we came up with concepts like Digital Dictator and Cyber Christ. Also a badass album, a little bit on the darker side, and very cool. Vicious Rumors never makes the same album twice.
Well, we noticed that.
All our albums are very different, and you can always expect something new from us, and we like that. We like to keep it fresh. This was an album also in transition, Sadistic Symphony. Unfortunately, this is the one sort of black sheep for me. We were working with a very jealous producer. We didn't like his mix, and when we wanted to have a new mix done, he really sabotaged us. Some guy named Phil something or other, I can't remember what his name. He sucks, don't ever work with him. Charged us way too much and gave us a shitty fucking mix. And so anyway, the music business is not for anybody. It's not for everybody. It's a hard fucking industry, and it's full of ups and downs, but we're fucking crazy enough to do it for 40 years.
Can't beat that.
So there's something.
That's the attitude.
There's Sadistic Symphony. And then in 2006 rolled along, and we decided to come back full speed after the shenanigans of that album. War Ball. This is where we really started getting back on track again. And we started really getting back on track with this album, with the classic spirit of where Vicious Rumors was all about, and also, you know, at the same time moving forward and trying to make something new featuring James Rivera on vocals for this one. Badass album. This is also the first album where I started my partnership with Juan Orteaga, who I've been producing and writing with all the following albums after this.
Now, James Rivera is someone who comes in already established. He already had Hellstar, he had Destiny's Aunt. What was it like to work with him?
It was good. James is also a very funny and, and entertaining guy. Very clever, and so it was a lot of fun to work with him. We did a lot of great shows together, and we made an incredible album. If you haven't heard this one yet, it's fucking badass. So anyway, now we comes 2011's Razorback Killer. This is one of the most highly critically acclaimed albums we've done, really. It was album of the month in all kinds of German magazines. It saw us tour in Europe 92 shows in 1 year, in 2011 in Europe. That was the biggest touring year we ever had in Europe. And this was also when we first signed to SPV, Steamhammer, and we've been with them ever since 2010. It's the longest company we've ever been with. I just re-signed, by the way, for 2 more albums. And so this record said it all. A very kick-ass, aggressive album.
At this point, do you think your fan base was more European-oriented or still?
Our fan base has always been more European, and that's fine. I'm thankful and proud to just have it anywhere, really. So anyway, Razorback Killer is a must in your collection. Then we did Live You to Death, and that was recorded we were on tour with Hammerfall. We did 60 shows around Europe, and the great thing about it was, at the end of 60 shows, when we're fucking just... You think like 60 shows is a huge amount of dates to do in Europe. I mean, just when you think it's over, Hammerfall invites us to do 32 more. So that's how we ended up doing 92 shows and the Live You to Death series, because Vicious Rumors definitely does Live You to Death. And so that brings us to 2013's Electric Punishment. God, you got time for this, man?
We do. Let's go.
Okay. Electric
We're
Punishment.
here for you.
Also, very powerful and dark album of Vicious Rumors with some very classic elements as well. Continuing to form our bond with Juan Orteaga and develop a production style. These albums just sound like we spent $200,000 on them. I mean, they're just incredibly sounding records, high production value, kick-ass songs and performances. And the song "Together We Unite" is kind of a theme song for the end of our shows and festival appearances that also came from this album. Then we did a tour, and we thought, hey, Live You to Death was awesome. How about Live You to Death 2? This one and it's funny because part of this was recorded at Reggies 5 years ago.
And we are at Reggies right now.
We're at Reggies right now. 5 years ago, we laid tracks down for this album, and so it's great to be back in Chicago, kicking some heavy metal ass. And this is just another effort of Vicious Rumors, just bringing music to the people, man.
Now, this also happens to be your 4th live album. So how important is the live performances to you?
Well, you know, Vicious Rumors is a live band. I mean, that's where our aggression comes. That's where you really, that's what it's all about for us. So, we just like to have fun. We get an opportunity, and if we can capture it for everybody, then we'd love to do it. And then this is our last studio album, Concussion Protocol. This was the first album to make the top 100 in Germany. We're actually in the top 100 album charts with fucking Kiss and Britney Spears and Vicious fucking Rumors, so who gives a fuck? But there you go, Concussion Protocol, badass album. This is one of my favorite albums we did. I put so much work into the writing, the lyrics, the guitar playing. Very proud of this album. And there's one thing you don't have here right now, and I wish I had it with me to show you, and that's the 40th anniversary Live in Germany DVD, and that's the latest release of Vicious Rumors that you can get at viciousrumors.com, Vicious Rumors Facebook, and it's a badass. The whole festival is recorded from like 20 different camera angles at the prestigious Bang Your Head Festival with 18,000 people. We got the whole show on DVD with top quality audio, and you really get to see the whole kick-ass festival from beginning to end, our whole show. And that brings us to the end of Vicious Rumors history.
A question. Nearly 40 years of putting up with the industry. How do you do it? Record labels, management, you name it. I know it's not an easy ride.
I break the motherfucking rules every chance I get. And I make my own rules, and I don't take no for an answer, and I do it my own way. And we have a fucking great time. We always are successful at everything we do, damn near. We have our ups and downs, but I mean, I got a great bunch of guys. I surround myself with a lot of talent and dedicated people, and when you believe in yourself, it can take you a long way.
Now, you and Larry, pretty much, except for maybe 5 years that he was gone, he's been with you for a good 35 years. What keeps that bond going?
Well, he was only gone for like 1 year, really.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Larry and I just work very well together. Our musical styles, we're about the same age. Vicious Rumors has taken us around the world, showed us an incredible time, taught us a lot about the business. You could only dream about some of the things that we've done over the last 40 years. So we're still enjoying it, and as long as we enjoy it, we'll keep doing it.
When you look back, what stands out?
Oh man, the fact that we're still going strong, man. That's just the bottom line. It's a tough business, man, and things have changed so much. But we came out at a time that was very special in the Bay Area, and we're part of something, the thrash and power metal movement that the whole world looks to. And we're honored that our fans consider us to be a legendary band. And those aren't my words. That's what they that's what they say to me. And I'm fine with it. We just love to kick ass.
What's next?
What's next is a brand new studio album. We're going to do the Digital Dictator tour. We're about halfway through now. This is 45 dates in 50 days. I mean, this tour would have been hard in my 20s, man. But we're rocking it big time. We're driving every day. We're playing every night. 45 days, 45 shows in 50 days. Then we pre-production for our new album. We do a European leg of the Digital Dictator tour, and then we're right back at the recording studio for a new album because it just never ends.
Thank you.
Heavy metal.